There's a program in Nova Scotia that could give you up to $25,000 towards your first home. And most people, they either don't know about it or they simply assume that they don't qualify for this program. And that assumption alone, well, it's gonna cost people years and years of waiting, of renting, and of thinking that they're just not ready for home ownership, when in reality, they might be a lot closer to getting the keys to their future home than what they think. And that's what we need to fix here. Because the biggest mistake that I see first-time home buyers make is not that they can't buy a home, it's that they just don't realize that they can and what power and leverage and programs they can qualify for. Hi, I'm Logan Tomczyk, your real-life realtor here in Halifax, Nova Scotia. And if there's one thing I care about in the home buying and selling process, it's making sure that you have real clarity every step of the way. No guesses, no assumptions, no waiting, but actual answers. Because this is one of the biggest financial decisions that you're ever going to make. And you deserve to understand your options before you decide if you're ready or not to make your next big move. I'm going to guess you're closer to your next move than what you actually think. So if you're watching this video right now and thinking that I don't even know if buying is possible for me yet, comment the word move below in the comment section, or you can book a call with me through the link in the description of this video. It'll take you directly to my Google Calendar, and I'll be able to walk you through your specific situation step by step to be able to give you a real answer. There's no pressure, just clarity. Now let's talk about the real pressure point here. The biggest barrier for most first-time home buyers isn't the monthly payments, it's actually the down payment, the upfront number. And this is what stops most people before they even get started. They look at how much that's going to cost, they do the math, and they say, okay, I'm not there yet, or I need more time, or I need to save more money. And that in turn can be something like, I'll revisit the market next year. But next year, becomes 2 years, becomes 3 years, becomes 4 years. And before you know it, you've delayed something that might have been possible sooner rather than later. Now, don't worry, I get it, because from the outside looking in, it feels like there's just a big gap here. But what most people that don't realize is that there are programs that Nova Scotia offers that are designed to really help close that gap. And one of the biggest programs here in Nova Scotia that I like recommending is the Nova Scotian Down Payment Assistance Program. So let's break this down in a real simple way that's easy to follow along. Now, first and foremost, this program can provide up to 5% of the purchase price of your future home, up to a maximum of $25,000, which is a big deal here. Because for a lot of home buyers looking at the market today, that's the exact price that they're missing. That's the savings that people are struggling to save up for to get ahead of the game. And that's the difference between someone saying something like, I'm not ready yet, instead of saying something like, okay, this might actually be possible for my situation. Now, here's where people start asking me the serious questions, and these are important questions to ask. Things like, is this a loan? Do I have to pay it back monthly? Logan, what's the catch here? And again, these are the important questions that we're going to be focusing on and breaking down for you, because nothing feels worse than thinking that you're getting ahead of the game only to realize that you've actually just added more pressure from not fully understanding what this program really entails. So here's the honest answer, here's the honest answer. This isn't like a typical monthly loan where the numbers are changing. This is wrapped into your monthly mortgage payments, so you're not going to receive a secondary bill on top of your mortgage. But there are requirements and conditions for people to qualify. And this is where people can get a little bit tripped up, because instead of learning the details, they just assume that they won't qualify, and they stop right then and there, and they never look deeper, and they never ask if they confirm to qualify for this program. And this is the part that just frustrates me the most, because I've seen what happens when people actually check if they qualify for the Nova Scotia Down Payment Assistance Program and what that can actually look like for them. Let me give you just a real example here. I had clients come to me and right away they asked all the important questions. They were saying that they needed time. They were saying that they weren't ready. They were saying that they don't have enough money or funds saved up to get the house that they want. And I've heard that so many times in the past that I haven't taken statements like that at face value for years anymore, because I find there's always more to the story, and maybe there's less that they need than what they originally thought. So we actually broke everything down for them. With my mortgage brokers, we went over their savings, their income, their goals, their timeline. And you know what? The important question to ask was saying, hey, have we looked at programs like the Down Payment Assistance Program? And suddenly, our conversation, it changed from what they thought that the gap was to what it actually looks like. And it started here, and after talking, answering their questions, we got way closer. And a move that felt for them like it was years down the line became something that was a lot more closer and more achievable for them. And I could see the shift in their attitudes when realizing that they could in fact become homeowners for something that they wanted. And they had more options in the market for them that made them excited. That was everything right there. Because once you have options, you can make a better and more informed decision. And you're just not waiting in purgatory anymore. You're choosing your future home. And that's the difference between people who move forward and people who stay stuck. Now, does this mean that everybody qualifies for this program? Simple answer is no. There are requirements. You need to be a first-time home buyer. There are also income limits where you have to have a household income of less than $145,000 each year. The home that you're buying has to be your permanent residency, and it needs to be located here in Nova Scotia. You also need to have a solid credit score. But most people, when they hear that, think 800 and above, when in reality, you actually need a credit score of 650 or above. You need to be a Canadian citizen or have permanent residency status here in Canada. You also need to be able to pay your closing costs, which are roughly 2 to 3% plus HST of the purchase price of your future home. Don't worry, I've got videos on my channel breaking down all of the closing costs. You should definitely check those out. So this program, it's not for everybody, but here's the key points to take away from this video. If you're thinking about saying that home ownership is unattainable, then it could be something that worth looking into to see if you're actually closer than what you think. Because assuming or guessing or waiting could cost you more in the long run than just checking today and checking with a professional mortgage broker. Don't worry if you need to speak with any professionals, I've got you covered, because the cost of checking is nothing, but the cost of waiting, that can create more costs later down the line in rent that you're paying, in waiting for appreciation, in just overall life costing more. And this ties back to bigger issues, which is people delaying for their decision based on incomplete information. So they think that they're being responsible by waiting, where they think that they'll just have the right time fall on their lap. But sometimes the right time is closer than what they realize. They just didn't have the full picture laid out in front of them to make their next move with confidence. So here's the solution. If you're even thinking about buying in 2026 and you need some clarity, not hype, but clarity, well then you need to know where you stand. You need to know what your options are. You need to know what's actually possible for you right now today. Because once you have that information, everything will change. Everything will be more clear. You will stop guessing what you could or could not afford. You'll stop waiting without direction, and you'll start making decisions with confidence. And if the answer is, okay, I'm still not ready, then that's fine. But at least you'll have a clearer picture of where you stand today. And you can also use that information to build a plan for your next move. But if the answer is, wait, I might actually be closer than I thought, then that's where things get exciting. And that's where I see people moving forward in ways that they didn't expect. So if you're in a position right now today, don't guess, because guessing will only lead to more waiting, more hesitation, and assumptions that might not be true. So find out today. DM me the word move. And you can also book an appointment with me in the comments where a link to my Google Calendar is, and we can schedule a stress-free call and learn more about your situation to see if the down payment assistance program is a good fit for you. I'll break everything down step by step, again, based on your situation, your numbers, your goals, and give you clear answers. There's no pressure, there's no sales pitch, just real advice so you can make the right decision with your next move. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about buying a home. It's about getting into more knowledge about the market to see what's possible for you and your lifestyle, and making a decision from a place of clarity. And if this video has helped you, then subscribe. I post videos like this every single week to help you understand the market better and allow you to move forward with confidence. And I'll see you in the next video.